wisdom if I wanted before I swore in the board. When I relayed that to my son Matt, he gave me this, "You better not do that," kind of look. But he didn't say that I couldn't do that. And so, like Matt, I'm not one to pass up an opportunity to make a free comment. I was thinking in relationship to Matt's membership on this board, but it's obviously relative to the other 8 members as well. His role, your role, is similar to that of a judge. Over the next 4 years, you'll be required to make thousands of decisions which will not only have a positive impact on people, but will also almost always upset any number of folks. You'll have to accept and live with the fact that you can't please everyone all the time. As such, it's important that you show sound judgment and vote with a personal conviction that is never counter to your moral compass. If you know you've accomplished that, you can better accept the fact that others may not agree with what you've done. That said, one luxury to take advantage of as a member of this board is that your decisions don't have to be made individually, like that of a trial judge. You're more like the Supreme Court in that you can confer with one another and deliberate in an effort to reach a consensus. Given the makeup of this body, anytime all of you agree on something, it's likely to be the wisest course of action, even if those of us on the outside don't agree. Since the public may not have all the information available to you or be privy to your considerations, it's imperative that you keep in mind your legal and civil responsibility to be transparent and ethical at all times. Maybe a cliche, but it bears worth repeating. Vote as though you're not seeking re-election. If you keep in mind the board's vision statement, and everything you do as an individual and as a group maintains a student-centered focus, the public will be well served during your terms in office. Now, if each of you will please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name.
I,
do solemnly affirm.
Do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
of a member of the Atlanta Board of Education during my term in office.
of a member of the Atlanta Board of Education during my term in office.
I will not knowingly prevent my vote
I will not knowingly prevent my vote
in the election and appointment of any person
in the election or appointment of any person
to a position in the Atlanta Independent School System
to a position in the Atlanta Public School System
or on any matter related to said school system,
or on any matter related to said school system,
to be influenced by
to be influenced by
fear,
fear,
favor,
favor,
affection,
affection,
or reward, or hope thereof. In all things pertaining to my said office,
In all things pertaining to my said office,
I will be governed by the public good
I will be governed by the public good
and the interests of said school system.
and the interests of said school system.
I will observe the provisions of the Act
I will observe the provisions of the Act,
recognizing the Atlanta Board of Education
recognizing the Atlanta Board of Education
and the rules and regulations
and the rules and regulations
of the Atlanta Board of Education.
of the Atlanta Board of Education.
I further affirm
I further affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
and of the United States of America.
and of the United States of America.
Congratulations to you all.
may I congratulate you and respectfully invite you to take your seats. At this time, for the record, it's 2:25. I'd like to call the organization of the 2014 organizational meeting of the Atlanta Board of Education to order. The superintendent serves as the actual secretary of the board. In the superintendent's stead, this is designee our associate superintendent, Mr. Steve Smith. Upon calling the roll, Mr. Smith will have the gavel. The roll for this afternoon, January 13th, organizational meeting. Representing Educational District 1, Ms. Leslie Grant. Representing Educational District 2, Mr. Byron D. Ames.
Present.
Representing Educational District 3, Mr. Matt Westmoreland.
Present.
Representing Educational District 4, Mrs. Nancy M. Meister.
Present.
Representing Educational District 5, Mr. Stephen Lee.
Present.
Representing Educational District 6, Ms. Ishe P. Collins.
Present.
Representing at-large Seat 7, Mr. Courtney D. English.
Present.
Representing at-large Seat 8, Mrs. Cynthia Briscoe Brown.
Present.
And representing at-large Seat 9, Mr. Jason F. Estevez. Present. Mr. Associate Superintendent, that's the roll for this afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Grant, and congratulations to our board members as well on your swearing in. Board, do I have a motion at this point to approve our agenda that's in front of us? So moved. Been properly moved and seconded. We will follow as outlined. At this time, first order of business is that we will conduct the election for the office of Chair of the Atlanta Board of Education for a 2-year term. Nominations are now in order for the office of Chair.
I nominate Courtney English.
Mr. English is nominated. Are there any further nominations for the office of Chair? Seeing none, nominations for the office of Chair are now closed. The nominee for the office of Chair, Mr. Courtney English. We will now hold the election for the office of Chair. The question is on the election of Mr. English for Chair. At this point, all in favor, would you please raise your right hand to indicate? Mr. English as Chair. Opposed have the same right. Vote is closed. Congratulations, Mr. Courtney English. In fact, I will now officially pass the gavel to Mr. English.
Nominations are now in order for the office of Vice Chair.
I would like to nominate Nancy Meister.
Do we have a second? Here, are there any further nominations for the office of Vice Chair? Hearing none, nominations for the office of Vice Chair are now closed. The nominees for the office of Vice Chair are Nancy Meister. The question is on the election of nominee for Vice Chair. All in favor? Those opposed have the same privilege. Congratulations, Ms. Meister. I do want to say that I know I want to get folks to their families. We do have an official meeting today, but I did want to take a moment to first and foremost thank all of you, my colleagues, for the trust and confidence that you've placed in me. It is with gratitude and a deep sense of humility that I accept this charge. Know that I thank you for your courage. I thank you for your willingness to support my leadership, but also please know that this is not about me. We stand united as a board in unanimity and with one singular focus, with one singular charge, and that is to do right by the 47,000 kids of which we serve. I say to the broader community, that same charge. We will give your children and this city the education that they deserve. With that, let us begin. We stand in recess for 10 minutes.